Welcome back to my channel Celeb Buzz. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. Brian Keith's real reason for dying was finally told after many years. Brian Keith was born Robert Alba Keith on November 14, 1921 in Bayonne, New Jersey. He learned about show business when he was young because of his mother, Helena Shipman, who was an actress on stage. Being around theater world made him love actingely on. And this love would later grow into a long and amazing career. He grew up in Long Island and Hollywood, where he was always around entertainment. Even though he didn't become famous right away, it was always going to happen. Before he started acting full-time, Keith served his country with pride during World War II as a United States Marine Corps air gunner. He flew on dangerous missions in the Pacific and got medals for his brave service. His time in the military changed him forever, teaching him to be disciplined, humble, and quietly strong qualities that showed up in many of the characters he played on screen. He never bragged about his service, but friends and coworkers often talked about how much he loved his country and was a quiet hero. Keith's acting career really started after the war with early roles in theater and live TV shows. People quickly knew him for being able to play many different types of characters. His natural charm and his tough guy appeal. He made his first movie in the late 1940s, and by the 1950s, he was getting releasing movies like Arrowhead in 1953 and The Violent Men in 1955. Getting noticed for his strong presence on screen. But it was in the 1960s that Brian Keith became famous. Most people knew him for his role in the beloved Disney movie, The Parent Trap in 1961, where he played the nice and slight-like infused father opposite Maureen O'Hara and Hayley Mills. His warm, natural acting won over audiences and showed his special ability to be both strong and gentle. Keith's TV work was just as famous. From 1966 to 1971, he starred as Uncle Bill Davis in the popular CBS comedy show Family Affair, playing a rich bachelor who suddenly had to take care of 3 children whose parents had died. The show was shockingly successful, and Keith's gentle but gruff way of playing Uncle Bill made millions of viewers love him. Working with child actors like Anissa Jones, Johnny Whitaker, and Kathy Garver, Keith brought real emotion and truth to a role that could have been boring. His friendship with co-star Sebastian Cabot, who played the butler Mr. French, added even more charm and balance to the show, even though Family Affair made him famous. Keith didn't want Tobe stuck playing the same type of character. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, he took in many different and challenging roles in both drama and action movies, have played tough authority figures, troubled fathers, and even bad guys. Some of his best performances during this time were in The Wind and the Lion in 1975, The Mountain Men in 1980, and Young Guns in 1988, each of which showed how serious and commanding he could be. He also kept working on TV, starring in shows like Hardcastle and McCormick from 1983 to 1986, where he played the tough Retirregage Milton C. Hardcastle opposite Daniel Hugh Kelly. In the last 10 years of his amazing career, legendary actor Brian Keith kept Amazon sides with lots of memorable performances in comedy, drama, science fiction, and cartoons. His ability to play different characters and his commanding screen presence stayed strong as he took on different roles on TV and in movies, leaving a lasting impression even in his later years. In 1991, Keith brought his signature energy and gruff charm to a guest appearance on the popular sitcom Evening Shade in the first season episode called Chip Off the Old Brick. In this memorable performance, he played the loud and bossy father of Herman Styles, played by Emmy-winning actor Michael Jeter. His funny timing and powerful acting lit up the screen, giving fans a nice reminder of his decades-long mastery of character roles. That same year, Keats went back tune of his most loved characters, Dave Blessingham from The Westerner. In Thester-filled TV movie, The Gambler Returns, The Luck of the Draw, this special event was a treat for classic TV fans because it had many famous stars from 1950s westerns and dramas playing their original roles in heartfelt cameos. Keats' return as Game Waza, highlight of the production showing his lasting connection to the Western genre and the character that had helped make him famous decades earlier. Keith also took the lead in the 1991 sitcom Walter and Emily, a short-lived but well-liked family comedy where Hep played a lovable grandfather dealing with family problems and family life. Hetton starred in The Streets of Beverly Hills in 1992, a TV pilot that on Seagain showed his talent for comedy-on character-driven storytelling. Onuf, his most touching and widely praised performance, came in 1992 during a two-part guest appearance on Major Dadden, the season 4 episodes called The People's Choice. Keith played Thebesi, an opinionated father, oft-main Major, played by Gerald McRaney. His portrayal of a strong-willed father visiting the family yachted emotional depth and funny tensiento, the storyline, reminding viewers of Keith's ability to bring layered humanity to even the most domineering Carters. In 1993, Keith went into the world of science fiction with a powerful performance on Star Trek Deep Space Nine in the first season episode Progress to cast as Malabak, an aging and defiant farmer fighting against being forced to move from his family home. Keith filled the character with quiet dignity, humor, and stubborn strength. The role let him explore complex moral themes and showed his ability to adapt even the most futuristic and deep scripts. Keith's final years were filled with lots of TV appearances and movie roles, proving his tireless love for his craft. Among these were The Secrets of Lake Success, the family drama Wind Dancer, an recurring role on The Kish. In 1994, he also appeared in the full-motion video game Under a Killing Moon. It's an innovative, unusual project that showed his willingness to try new formats. In 1995, he guest-starred in an episode of The Marshal called The Bounty Hunter, playing Wichita Police Chief Rick Stone. In a charming detail, Keith performed this role under the fake name Chief Scablo and wore a carefully recreated uniform provided with the help of the Wichita Police Department, showing their respect he earned from both the entertainment and law enforcement moonies. He continued to bring his serious presence to TV movies like The Return of Hunter, Everyone Walks in Lane 1995, Favorite Deadly Sins in 1995, and the touching biographical drama entertaining Angels, The Dorothy Day Story in 1996, where he supported the moving tale of famous Catholic social activist. His TV work included guest roles on beloved series like Walker, Texas Ranger, Touched by an Angel, and the political satire The Second Civil War in 1997. Younger audiences also came to know Brian Keith as the voice of Uncle Ben Parker in Spider-Man, the animated series, where he brought gentle wisdom and heartfelt emotion to the cartoon version of Peter Parker's beloved uncle, character whose moral influence shaped Spider-Man legend. Keith's final movie appearance came in 1997 when he played President William McKinley In's historical miniseries Rough Riders, directed by longtime friend John Milius. As a tribute to Keith's legacy and lifelong commitment to storytelling, Milius dedicated the film to him simply and powerfully. Brian Keith, actor Marine, our rock, it was a fitting farewell to a towering figure in American entertainment. A man whose voice, face, and spirit had become carved into the fabric of TV and movie history. Brian Keith had a complex and eventful personal life marked by 3 marriages that each showed different chapters of history as a man, husband, and father. His first marriage happened in 1948 when he married Frances Helm, stage and TV actress, known for her performances on Broadway and in early TV dramas. Their marriage, while at first full of hope and potential, ended up being short-lived. The couple struggled to keep their relationship going with the demands of their growing careers and the pressures of post-war American society. After 6 years together, they chose to split up, finalizing their divorce in 1954. Although their marriage did not have any children, it was an importantly emotional experience in Keith's life and likely shaped his latter relationships. Not long after his divorce from Helm, Keith entered into a second marriage with Judy Landon, a talented dancer and actress who had appeared in a number of classic Hollywood musicals, including Singing in the Rain. This second marriage turned out to be much more successful. In terms of family, together, Brian and Judy raised a large and lively household. They had 5 children, some biological and some adopted, and Keith embraced the role of father with deep commitment and love. Known for his gruff but lovable on-screen personality, he brought that same warmth and authority into his home. Friends and colleagues often talked about how devoted he was to his children, frequently bringing them to movie sets and sharing his love of Theodore's storytelling and traditional values. This period of his life was filled with both professional success and family happiness, and it gave him a foundation of stable attituring some of his most active years in TV and movies. Keith's third and final marriage was to the actress Victoria Young, best known for her role as Nurse Malia in the hit TV series Hawaii Five-0. The couple married in 1970, and their marriage was built on a shared love of acting and a deep respect for each other's talents. Victoria, almost 20 years younger than him, became not only his life partner, but also his close friend and emotional support during his later years. Together, they had 2 children, and their home life was said to be a caring and peaceful place away from the often crazy world of Hollywood. Keith loved his time with Victoria and their children, especially after mostly retiring from acting. He treasured the chance to spend quiet quality time with his family in Hawaii, where they lived for years. Their marriage lasted until Keith's death in 1997, showing the strength of their bond and the peace they found in each other's company. Victoria stayed by his side during his final years, supporting him through personal tragedies and failing health. Through these 3 marriages, each different in character and outcome, Brian Keith's life was deeply enriched. The experiences of love, loss, family, and fatherhood. These relationships helped define the man behind the screen, revealing layers of warmth, loyalty, and depth thought went well with his celebrated acting career. For many years, the tales surrounding the death of veteran actor Brian Keith remained covered in a mixture of guesses, partial truths, and sad remembrance. June 24th, 1997. The beloved star of classic TV and movies passed away at his Malibu home at the age of 75. At the time, reports simply said that he had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and while that alone painted a picture of tragedy, it was not until later that the deeper reasons behind his decision began to come out more fully. In the years following his passing, those close to Keith, including family members, colleagues, and longtime friends, slowly revealed a more complete understanding of what had led to his untimely and heartbreaking death. The official ruling of suicide initially checked his fans, many of whom knew Keith as a tough, strong, and lovable presence on screen, especially from roles like the warm and steady Uncle Bill in Family Affair, or the gruff but lovable father in The Parent Trap. But the public image of Keith as a calm and grounded person, while not false, was only part of his personal story. Behind his dignified screen personality was a man who, by the final chapter of his life, had been suffering from a deep combination of emotional, psychological, and physical pain. One of the main contributing factors to his suicide was a rapid life-threatening, worse health condition. In the months leading up to his death, Keith had been diagnosed with terminal lung cancer and emphysema, both of which severely hurt his quality of life. As a lifelong heavy smoker, Keith had developed serious breathing problems. His once strong body was destroyed by disease, and he faced a terrible diagnosis that offered little hope for recovery or comfort. The news of his cancer diagnosis reportedly left him devastated, knowing that his days of independence and mobility were quickly coming to an end. Blaming himself and struggling to understand how and why such a tragedy had happened. The grief. Losing a child, especially to suicide, is something few people can go through without deep psychological calculations. For Keith, who was already facing terminal illness, Daisy's death pushed him further into emotional despair. The loss left him emotionally empty, and friends described him as never being the same afterward. Minyoff. Those close to Keith have since said that he had begun to lose his will to fight. He spoke less frequently, pulled away from social interactions, and seemed consumed by a growing sense of hopelessness. Though he had spent a lot of time playing characters who showed strength, humor, and warmth in real life, he faced his darkest moments in private with calmness, but also deep pain. His death, then, was not simply an isolated act, but the result of a series of unbearable losses. His health, his daughter, and his quality of life. In time, those closest to him made peace with his decision, understanding that he had been suffering tremendously and had reached a point where he no longer wanted to endure the agony. Some family members spoke publicly to raise awareness about the importance of mental health support, especially for those dealing with terminal illness and the loss of a loved one. Fans too slowly came to terms with the truth of his passing, recognizing that even strongmen like Brian Keith are not immune to the crushing weight of pain, grief, and illness. Today, Brian Keith is remembered not just for the way he died, but for the legacy he left behind. A legacy of powerful performances, carrying portrayals of father figures, and a long career that brought warmth and dignity to millions of viewers. The revelation of his true cause of death, once hidden in silence, now serves as a touching reminder of the complex realities many face behind closed doors and the need for understanding, and support and ties of suffering